Imagine you are building with colorful blocks. Sometimes you stack them tall, sometimes wide, creating all sorts of amazing structures. This flexibility is what makes building so much fun and expressive. Now, think about the words in our sentences. In the same way, the arrangement of words in a sentence, often called syntax, absolutely can and does change. It is one of the most dynamic aspects of language, evolving not just over centuries but sometimes even within our everyday conversations. The simple answer is yes, word order can definitely shift. Now, why is this so? Well, most modern languages, including English, relying heavily on what we call a canonical word order. For English, this is typically subject-verb-object. Think of a simple sentence like, "The dog chases the ball." Here, dog is the subject performing the action, chases is the verb, and ball is the object receiving the action. However, this was not always the case, and it is not universal. Historically, languages like Old English had a much more flexible word order. This was because nouns and verbs had specific endings, called inflections, which clearly indicated their role in the sentence. So, whether you said the dog the ball chases or chases the ball the dog, the meaning remained clear due to those helpful endings. As English evolved, it gradually lost many of these inflections. This meant that the position of words in a sentence became incredibly important for conveying meaning. Word order had to step in and do the job that those lost endings once did. Without a standard order, sentences would become confusing very quickly. This shift from an inflected language to a more positional language is a primary reason why modern English has a relatively fixed word order. To give you another perspective, many other languages around the world still retain a high degree of inflection, allowing for greater freedom in word placement. Latin, for instance, is famous for its flexible word order, where the emphasis or nuance often comes from word placement, rather than a strict grammatical rule based on position alone. So, while English has settled into a dominant order, it is not the only way to build a sentence. Understanding this historical journey helps us appreciate why modern English seems so fixed in its word order, especially compared to its own past or to other highly inflected languages. It shows us how languages adapt to maintain clarity as they change over time. Even within the confines of modern English, however, we still see subtle variations. Skilled writers and poets, for instance, sometimes consciously deviate from the standard order to achieve a particular effect, whether for emphasis, rhythm, or to evoke a more formal or archaic tone. This is a deliberate choice, often used to create a specific feeling or draw attention to a word or phrase. This creative manipulation of word order is often referred to as poetic inversion. Instead of saying, "He bravely fought the dragon," a writer might opt for, "bravely fought he the dragon," to add a dramatic flair or a classic feel. This isn't changing the core meaning, but certainly changes the delivery. Another example is the use of the passive voice, like, "The report was written by Sarah," instead of the active "Sarah wrote the report." While both convey the same factual information, the passive voice shifts the grammatical subject, subtly altering what is emphasized. We can also play with adverb placement for emphasis, saying "quickly she ran" versus "she ran quickly," each having a slightly different feel or rhythm. So, while modern English relies heavily on its standard subject-verb-object word order for clear and unambiguous communication, its rich history reveals a fascinating journey of adaptation and evolution. Recognizing this flexibility, both in its past forms and in the artistic choices of skilled communicators today, deepens our appreciation for language's incredible ability to evolve and express meaning in countless ways. It is a powerful reminder that language is a dynamic, living system, constantly adjusting and reshaping itself to serve our need for clear expression.